Look, I'm very serious when I say this because it's another day, you know, and if you're gonna be siding with those shitty ass handful of individuals hiding behind labels and, you know, working with like feds that like try to do the mind control, they use our bodies as a conductor for electricity and use us like a telephone so they can make scenarios and like sound and shock you and threaten you to give you a heart attack. Well, you're just going to be used, manipulated, and they're going to kill you if you know side with them. You're better off walking with God and making sure nobody wants that shit. It's not even a handful. All right. There's a lot of people voicing themselves, and it's important because then it becomes a health risk, and they're even out here, manipulating our troops, our policemen, people murdering when there's no need, because that's not what the people do. The reality of things is people are best friends everywhere in the whole world, right? So why are we firm with God on not wanting that radioactivity or whatever they do? Because then they're over here manipulating whatever your surroundings, and what if they believe it? We're in good standing. We walk with God. We ignore it and we stay in the present. And then out of nowhere, getting along. And then you and your families are like getting shot at for no reason. They already try to poison us everywhere in the world. That's why we have everybody involved. We don't know if they're jealous of you. We don't know if they're using you for profit or hiding behind you because you do a great job. They get very fucking sneaky. And they hide behind everybody respectable because they're scared. The only problem is that radioactivity shit, using technology, phones, or they can use almost any source of constant current. I don't know. I'm just saying it because I'm not gonna put anybody's lives in harm's way. People really went into war because they believed they were experiencing gunfire out there, and it wasn't even the case. It was just sound of gunfire, and then that popping sound that they do. They damaged my roof of my home and flipped my car over with that popping sound. So that's also, creates plane crashes. Pretty much like keeping from a whole job well done. And it keeps healthy relationships from not being wanted. It takes away good communication skills and good friendships that we've built all the great equity in. So literally everybody against that shit is in great standing with God. So you ignore it and you stay present and you're nice to everybody. Whoever's doing that shit, they're the ones scared because they're the only problem and the obvious problem. And they try to like sew themselves into your happy days, and all they have to say is, oh, it's us, and make it believe like they're working with whatever's in front of you. It's fucking very manipulated. They try to do that to me, but we walk with God and work from the Bible with everybody's life and everybody's families together, working side by side together, making sure everybody's healthy and cared for. That's how our respect and privacy and consumptions are very cared for and respected as well too. When we have the same lives And people don't lack anything because we have the same lives and obtain the same blessings. You don't have to look over your shoulder anymore. You don't have to be worried about anybody breaking into your home. We have helping hands and manpower now more than ever before. I'm just letting it be known so you won't be psyched out. You ignore it and you stay present. And you get along and you stay there. And you care. See when I said I stay there, and then they're putting words in my mouth like stay dead? You know? That's shit, dude. Whoever it is. They can make it look like it's some of our best friends and partners, our great neighbor countries. They can make it believe that it's, you know, this and that, when it's not. We're in great relationships with all. And God's not playing around with nobody. You stand firm with God, and you stand for life. Because we all bear the same fruits. They already try to do death threats. That's what explains the killings of my grandma and grandfather and my father. Why do they do this? I couldn't explain it. When we're doing nothing wrong, making sure everybody's healthy and cared for on all of our consumptions, build, give, and direct proper guidance. Because they try to keep people silent. Because they know that they're wrong. They try to do that with head of command in the military, head of command, law enforcement, head of command, border patrol. They do these things and they try to like threaten them and their families, and then they make it look like, oh, that's how it's always been, but it's not. They're shit. They forgot how to live. They're obviously amateurs. They're at it 24/7. Popping your head, shocking your head, shocking your heart area, trying to threaten you. But you give it to God because God is bigger than that. Why didn't God take them down with the pandemic when tons were dying? To make them a fucking testimony so everybody in the world will never forget, never to do that shit to people, never to do that shit in life. I'm Mr. Roman from the Bible. I predicted the pandemic in 2016 when God told me very directly. And you can talk to God very directly too. God's always present. And the pandemic actually happened in 2020 and it killed tons all around the world. Because people get careless. They start misdistributing their attention elsewhere. And they were talking down on our restaurant waiters, the people that flip burgers. They needed all the ways. They needed, you see what they do? Anyways, stay focused and ignore it. All they needed to do was increase those wages healthy. And they always fail, all right? You're not going to be controlled. They're trying to do that shit, but God is bigger than that. You'll notice how short-lived they are. Anyways, every staff member, $10, $20 for, again, guaranteed wage increase every 3 months. And that's what explains that, you know, misdirection and misinformation when you have our great leaders right now, you know, leading a good example in unity and keeping everybody together. They make them like look like they don't know what they're talking about, and that's what it explains it. Because we have natural properties in our bloodstream, electrolytes. Our body's a conductor to a certain extent, and they speak in low frequencies. They can threaten you and do all this, but no, you're gonna be in great standing being against all that shit and letting it be known. It's obviously using government equipment. It's not even a handful. Because you stand for life and you're literally saving everybody's life in the whole world when you voice that shit. Nobody wants to be out here fucking rotting away. You have a life to live. Not for somebody. Nobody wants to be fucking controlled. I don't know, dude. Like, they're always like, it's a humongous world, so I know that when they target somebody, it's the surroundings and just that perimeter. Because they obviously forgot how to live. They obviously were trying to like scope us out and then use us for like their own personal gain or like money or something. But there's no need. All of our families been involved. We don't need the food for thought. We're blessing everybody else equally through the foundation and rules to follow. You don't have to be belittled by shit. Don't take away your great friendships, great relationships in schools. Dude, it's super, super fun. The people have tons of great opportunities. You don't need to be out there like being, depressed over some fucking like selected handful for no reason. It was pure fucking shit, dude. God very personally is pissed because you're going against life and yourself. What about our kids? What about new life coming in? They have to remain with the constant education and constant reminder and lead the right direction. It gets very, very toxic, which is why nobody in the world is going to let that happen. Because the reality of things is that we're in good standing with everybody in the whole world. God every turn. But all that radioactivity and just keeping you trapped inside, that literally keeps you from God. Anything that keeps you from God, you don't need it. We're gonna go to space. We're gonna go to space in the very, very healthiest way. Like, whoever you are, dude, like, you know you're wrong now. You're always forgiven when you were given poor examples, you didn't know any other way. But now, you know you're a problem, right? So now you're guaranteed to burn in hell for all eternity. And you don't even know how to obtain and keep the life that you so desperately want. You kill for a great life, you get all toxic and betray your friends and all that for a great life, and you don't even know how to keep it. We already know how everything that you fell for, dude, and you base it off of the movies, everything presented. Of course you're already caught. So what you need to do is you need to get the fuck away from people. You need to go to prison and lock yourself up. Because if you don't even know where it's going to come from. You guys are fucked. Because if you don't know the fact that if they gave some fucking idiots that don't even value life that much little power, then you were already caught before you even embarked on that shit. And all the labels I blessed before they even became successful with the good word, that's all it took, dude. We don't need no food for thought. You keep on fucking wasting our time and confusing the public and government officials See? You heard in low frequency, die. And then you heard a pop on my window. For no reason. All because I'm letting it be known that they're shit. All they got going for them is they run to denial. And they just distract people with poor humor, weak ass compliments. That's how they try. Don't listen to anybody invading your mind or anything. Nobody's in you. You're not dead. God's bigger than that. They're doing some dumbass shit. And they do that shit with the birds too. They try to control the birds. They try to control the dogs and make them look like they're talking. How do we catch them very effectively? You all need to be put in the right direction. Everyone building, everyone increasing wages healthy. Every pay period, $10, $20. Put it to the bank for an increased 3-month wage. After that, you go ahead and, provide that building opportunity when everybody needs to be building. Because we already went through all this toxic shit and we know how to catch shit. You're wasting our fucking time when there's a whole fucking world to keep healthy. God didn't play. You don't even know and fathom how powerful God is. You haven't even gotten anywhere yet to base your life on a successful level. It was just motivation for people to keep putting the work in. What did you expect? Now you're trying to conflict amongst each other over money when that's not even it's just food for thought. Misdistribution. And then it keeps the work being very smoothly. What about, and then that's why there's people homeless, that's why there's people not eating, and that's why you're rotting with a lump sum of money. When you only, your whole lifetime, you won't even it's just a food for thought, dude. That's crazy, right? Because everybody in the whole world is richer than you. You just needed the food for thought to I don't know, I guess impress people that don't give a fuck about your life to a certain extent, because everybody deserves their privacy. You can come outside and show off what you have. You can grasp on your ego, but people don't give a fuck. You still need people healthy and to be a great success to anything presented. Who the fuck do you come out to put up a front? Why do you come out in the first place? If you see no value, you only fucking think about yourself in the wrongest way. There's a healthy way to do that. There's a richer, godly life that takes you to the next planet and the next planet and the next planet. You guys lack direction. You guys have poor leadership. And you're not going to be detoxifying the new life and new employees either. Stay focused. Always provide job opportunities. Make sure they're documented so they can get the health care that they need. And we build together. We're building for the detainees first. Good, big homes. We already know tons of ways to get funded. And you give to the detainees first. They want to keep affording that house. They're going to keep building side by side for the rest of us. And your wages are going to be increased automatically. We're going to make the whole world brand new and healthier. God every turn. When I'm talking to her, I'm talking to God. When I'm talking to him, I'm talking to God. When you're talking to the animals, you're talking to God. When you feel that pressure and come across new life, that's your knowledge. And that's God very present right in front of you, wanting to see who you are. Are you going to be a piece of shit off impulse? Or are you going to accept that wisdom and let God speak to you in silence? And then you provide your great leadership, provide opportunity, provide that better way out, everything legalized so it can be distributed properly. Because people are getting careless. They're not wanting to make our foods, our brews, our medications. They want the easy way. And there's tons of it now. Because the people that went before us, they want to keep obtaining that lifestyle. So they have to bless others. And we're lacking builders. Instead of going there and arresting, you go there and you build with them side by side. You can do the paperwork along the process of completion of the project. You see more change and more better progress. Because we're hearing everybody wanting a better way. Everybody comes out of the house, no matter what they do, what company they work for, they all do it. They all accumulate these skills or whatever the fuck, all for a house, clothes, food, a car, and to live a great life. Well, that takes getting along with your surroundings and constant education. So when you embark on these endeavors, it comes with a good word in very constant form, so nobody will forget. Constant education on these hazardous things that we've come across, rules to follow, always implementing why we follow these rules, because people can get very, very sick. Illnesses become airborne. It's always self-inflicting when you want to entertain shit. You're taking your present good day for granted. Nowadays, you have the luxury to feel you're high and mighty. You're the toughest. Yeah, we gave you that privacy because we have great relationships around the world. Now, everything's respected. Now you can go home safe and sound, all right? That's why. You have too much time now to feel all confident, to think you're the toughest, to think you're above everybody. Whatever the fuck you toxify your head with. Who's going to be making those planes? Who's going to be making that vehicle? It took time and privacy that needed to be respected because we have great relationships, and you're going to never go against our great relationships that we have built. So when I present myself with this 100% accurate knowledge with zero risk to anybody's health, in fact, giving you God's health and giving you God thyself, right? Keep it anonymous, because God is not self-glorifying. I'm no different than you. God every turn. You're just going to be directed in the right direction, as you should be, very firmly, because it gets fucking toxic off an innocent 2-3 remarks. helping hands and care. Simple. That's all we're trying to do. Everything else is PT for healthcare reasons. It's a part of the medical field. Understand that. You need to know. It's all about wording it the right way so you can understand. Now you know many forms of the good word, right? So people can be reminded, oh shit, you know, I don't want to, you know, be extra right now because, I mean, I want to keep on, you know, having a great life. You know, I have some video games to play, or like some basketball, or like I want to win this tournament. I want to go to the Olympics, or I want to, do the spelling bee, or I want to, there's tons of fun things. Always keep it fun too. When you walk with God every turn, dude, there is nothing to worry about. But when you're presented shit and you know it's shit because everybody deserves their life in privacy, you always point out shit. Don't be intimidated. Imagine, dude, our elders that they were intimidating, they're making them believe that they were gonna like have a heart attack when that's bullshit. We stand very firm with God and we ensure great results. A lot of my family didn't have to die for no reason. They just wanted us silent because they knew they were fucking wrong. Anyways, forgive. I know there's, always going to be tons of people, that need that proper right direction. And it's never a waste of time because it ensures you keep having a great life. And the elders going through things that they can't explain, just give it to God. Alright? And you'll be great. You'll live longer than you ever imagined. And you'll never die. It's just a phase that people go through. But people were getting possessive over a great life, and it took the good word, everything that I'm presenting you with all this information. Look at the healthcare videos from God on my YouTube or Facebook, and you'll have an overall view of my frustrations, of whatever we're all experiencing, and also a outlook of what to stay focused on so things won't get out of whack. Because it's God every turn, there's no need for no conflict. Out of nowhere, I'm over here waking up and then you hear like just unnecessary noise. Don't listen to anybody setting yourself up or your team up or your platoon or team, and don't ever listen to anybody initiating conflict. We already have the healthiest ways to never see crime again, to never see anybody's death for no reason, to never see sickness. Now all you're going to experience is the common cold with the seasons. That's it. More life to live. You need to listen to these rules that all of our families around the world had kept. Somewhere along the way, people lost sight of that. So now we have people in restaurants not affording a place to live when they deserve to be getting paid just as much as a doctor, a nice, trillionaire. It's all food for thought. Why don't you invest it properly in the foundation with rules to follow? Because that is stability itself. Now it's your time to lead the right way in the right direction. They're in the prisons, police officers with military and border patrol build side by side with detainees. You build them a house first, and you stand firm on what to look out for. You let them know, don't do no short-lived stuff because you'll be dealt with. We're providing you a good opportunity. I mean, that's the only reason why anybody ever comes out, dude. And you know there's no risk, and you know that's how it's always been. See how they left? They left already. So that's a good thing, because God is very, very real. God will not be out here letting that shit happen. You ignore them. Whatever that is, just ignore it. Just let it be known. You stay present. Stay kind to all. Don't be selective, because that's what they take advantage of. And then they hide behind you. Be kind to all. Everyone. And they're robbing themselves of life. They're too focused on a selected handful. They forgot how to live their own life. They're at it 24/7, dude. Just talking shit. I ignore everything. You just stay with God. And there's no such thing as them reading your thoughts. You stay with God, and then it's God. Because before you even speak, they try to, like the hot and cold sensation. Somebody knows what's going on. That's why it's important to remain in great relationships with everyone around the world. Just give them God. If you find out who it is, give them God and give them prison time. A nice luxurious bed with the TV, and that is it. With working out, whatever, dude. I don't want to be risking anybody's life out in the world, man. Seems fair, because once you threaten your frustrations of anything else, or you threaten to kill them, they'll be blaming everybody else. So just give them God. I don't want you to burn in hell, because hell is very real. And nobody should have trained you the wrong way. It was just PT for healthcare. Because that toxic environment, then they go at each other and they become a healthcare risk to everybody in the world. So we train to eliminate it very effectively, and we never doubt who the problem is. And how do we never doubt the problem? And how do we never assume that it's real accurate without, especially when it's being manipulated now that we know and all that, and you still get very, very accurate results, because they're obviously behind computers and microphone, and when I'm getting shocked, they're saying they're doing that on purpose or something. So anyways, just ignore it, and you find out exactly what it is, where's the source, and all of that. You just always have to remain in good standing with everyone. And you don't worry. You don't worry at all, because you're with God every turn. And God is bigger, the creator of all of things that we ever came to be, Also, the next planet and the next planet and the next planet, dude, life is gonna be very, very cool. So don't entertain that shit. Alright? You just always remain in good standing. Don't let it, consume you, and it'll go away by itself. You just always, make sure everybody's healthy. Because the computers now, they're only going to be needed to spread the good word, to edit videos of the good word, to survey and scope out new land, to distribute healthiness of funds for, projects and homework, but not literally like directing people and like trying to control them, dude. They're amateurs. And I know they're only already confirming who it is. If not, then they're right on it. And by the way, the people don't need a deal anymore ever in their life. Alright? So why don't you continue being a good leading example and spreading the good word? Right? Because what it was is to protect us. When you came at us, Jesus Christ and the Romans, and harassed us and hid behind us, and others as well too. Because when somebody had something worth saying and they were right, others expressed their endeavors, and then the other communities were justifying this way was better, this way was not, and they were all very important. It created equality in lifting each other up. That's why we bless everybody, not a select handful. That's why you also noticed when they started thinking they were hot shit off of nothing, and then the fans and people got sick. You didn't even know how to increase their wages healthy. You didn't even, now you're over here leeching off the equity that we've built with all of our families internationally together, offer a newcomer that just has their head way up their ass. That's why it's important for everybody in the whole world to stay involved. Keep it healthcare, making sure they're healthy, their benefits are being honored, and they're not denied. Because if one person gets sick, we all get sick. People getting sick is no joke. It is no joke. The pandemic killed tons around the whole world. They could have called it whatever they want. I don't know, dude, nowadays they fucking just throw out like sicknesses and diseases, man. And then they just like use it and manipulate like if it was them. That's why with God, investigative proof was way more accurate when I predicted it in 2016. It's like God knew there was going to be a handful being that fucking stupid. Because people get careless and they misdistribute their attention elsewhere. So I heard like a pop or like a bomb or whatever, like right here in my stomach, like, and that's how I found out with God, when God told me that they're using our bodies as a conductor. And I don't doubt God one moment at all. They're gonna be dealt with, and they need to get out of that equipment, because they're confusing our troops, and that shit creates wars, man. So nothing's gonna be happening to anybody in the world because we stand with God and we're literally saving the fucking world right now. Because nobody's conflicting. We're on the fucking ground, dude. And you know we're best of friends, making sure we care for our crops and, you know, make sure we build for each other. Illuminating, heightening all of our surroundings. That's all we're trained to do, man. Everything else is PT for healthcare. It's all for healthcare, dude. You need to be directed the right way. You're gonna have to lead the right way. The people are going through everything that everybody else is going, man. How can you say we have thicker skin than some of the government officials? Not even a handful. Because we ignore it, we walk with God, and we're like, hey, that's short-lived. It's all about, you know, brushing it off, and you know that's short-lived, dude. Nobody's gonna want that. They see the person for who they are. They don't even want that shit around. And we already see sometimes they manipulate it too. So the real problem, you know, is out here manipulating their surroundings, and then they, you know, they blend in with all of our respectives. Sometimes it only takes one fuck up, one real bad fuck up, to have somebody that was careless to just go right to the right direction. So chances are they already like raveled it into making it look